Hello guys and welcome back to the channel. Now, yesterday we had a frost, the day before we had a frost, the day before we had a frost. Tonight I think we're due a frost, but today it's become really mild. It's like 11-12 degrees. So I've come to the little stream that runs through the woodland. Now, I like to fish this stream in winter time, but we've had such a horrendous winter with the rain and the weather. This is flooded like every other week. There's still loads of water in this woodland. It's finally become fishable and I'm hoping I can get some winter chub today. It's milder today. I'm hoping that the colder weather the last few days shouldn't have put them off too much. Fishing an ultralight setup, tiny little jigs, tiny little baits, and we're gonna have loads of fun today. Hopefully get a few fish on the bank. After missing a good hit on the weedless rig creature bait, I decided to move over to using a small minnow imitation with an exposed hook point in the hope of getting a take from one of these fish and hopefully keeping one on. Right, so the waders that I'm wearing today serve two purposes. One of those is to get through the partly flooded woodland behind me, and the second is to get to any areas of the river that you can't really cast to from the bank. And I've just had a bite off an arm that connects to the river. Now I can't cast up the arm because of the overgrown banking, so now I'm gonna have to jump into the freezing cold, smelly water in the hope of casting further up there to see if there's any fish hiding further up that arm. Fingers crossed. Bit treacherous doing this really. Yep, fish on. Yep. Yes. Yes. What is that? Sorry, my drag's quite loose because I'm fishing relatively light. It's got to be a chub. Yes! Yes! Oh! I didn't bring my net into the river with me, did I? You've seen it, leader touch. Don't come off like, yes! Tiny little swim bait got crushed. Yes! Now, I didn't really want to have to jump in the river today, but I felt like the fish that I wanted to catch were in an area where the waders came in handy. It absolutely crushed that swim bait, and they're really nicely hooked actually. And some people, when they look out for spring being on the way, maybe you look out for buds on the trees or certain birds showing up to nest. What I look out for is the colour change in these chub. I don't know whether the camera will pick that up well, but this chub is actually changing from its bright silvery winter colours into its sort of darker, more bronze spring and summertime colours. It's really interesting. It's got more bronze scales and it has silver now when you look closely. Beautiful fish, and I don't want to have to jump in the water to find more fish, but that's what we're going to have to do. That's what we're going to have to do. After catching that chub and knowing that bites will be few and far between today, I decided to stay in that swim a bit longer and keep trying to cast up the arm that came off the main river. But it wasn't long before the rain came. And the problem with small rivers and streams like this is the moment the rain comes, it doesn't take long for the river to start rising. Now it was set to be here for about an hour, and I knew in that time the river could rise a lot. So I quickly rushed between a few different swims on the river before finally succumbing, getting my coat out my backpack and taking refuge under the cover of the few trees. Thankfully for once the weatherman was right and the rain did only last for about an hour, and it was time to continue the search for these fish. So this is an interesting part of the river. as you can see from this area here, other than it being very, very sludgy, is that this is the area where the river breaches when the water level comes up and flows into the woodland, wiping out everything. As you can see, there's dead and collapsed trees all the way through the wood, and as it recedes, the water comes back down and enters the river back through this area. What it does mean is I get a clear walk straight through the trees. It may be a bit watery, but at least it's not overgrown. Oh my God. Guys, I almost can't believe what I've just found. I was following the river from where it sort of flows when it floods through the woods and then goes back out again. And I was trying to get some footage with a 360 camera following that route. And as I've got to this area, we've got all these collapsed trees and branches. And this is the similar area actually to where I was catching sticklebacks out of those tree stumps. And these branches that have fallen have blocked off an area of the woods where there's 2 or 3 tree stumps, and it's held the water. So it's stopping it from sort of going back down into the river. And over there, I don't know if you can see it, there's at least 3 goldfish. Now, I would say I have no idea where these fish have come from, but about 300-400 yards upstream, there is a housing estate. So I'm assuming either somebody's released them into the river, and then with the floods they've been washed down into this area here, or perhaps someone's garden pond got flooded, and that's how these goldfish ended up in here. I have no idea. I don't know if there's any more fish, but either way, that's pretty cool. And thankfully, I have the means to catch them. I've just got to figure out how to do it. One thing I am tempted to do, though, is I don't just want to go in there all guns blazing with the waders on, with the net, and try and net them out, because I think pretty much any one of those goldfish could be a personal best. So I could always look through the back and trying to find something that I can catch these fish with, maybe a worm or something. And yeah, anyway, that's pretty cool. After a bit of thought about what I was going to use to catch these goldfish out of this pool, I remembered I had a ham and cheese sandwich in my backpack ready to go. So I decided I was going to go hungry and use this to try and catch the goldfish instead. Right, this is probably going to be a bit overkill. I've got £8 line, but it's obviously the lightest line I've got because I'm finesse lure fishing today. And I did find in my bag, and I don't know if I've lost it now, I have actually got some size 12 hooks. Now these were actually in the bag from when I was doing that underwater pike fishing, and I needed some terminal tackle to catch some small fresh dead baits. Well, to start off alive but ended up being dead baits. Hopefully these are small enough. Oh, that's one. Can't see, that's going to be frustrating. It's going for the bread. Oh! No, it took my bread. That was the biggest one. Oh, that was the biggest one. Yes. When I think about it, they probably ain't got too much to eat in there. Especially if they are sort of like domestic pond fish. They probably aren't used to eating sort of natural food. There it is. Oh, there's another one. Definitely 2 there. The smaller one gonna get it? Bigger one? Yep. He's spat it out. Come on. Oh, no, not again. Oh, it's twice that's happened now. Come on, Chris. Come on. Yep, there we go. Got it. We got it. Oh my God. That's a personal best goldfish. Oh, it's beautiful as well. Really got a strong fish. Yes, we got one. Right, we'll put him in the net. I'm going to put him in the water there, make sure the net is submerged. I'm going to see if I can get one more with the bread, and then we'll have to go in with a net and see if I can catch the See if I can catch him with a net, because that took me a long time to catch that one goldfish. I know I'd catch another one on the rod and line. I've had so many chances. There we go, another chance. Yes, yeah, we got another one. Yes. Oh my god, these are so beautiful, aren't they? Bright orange and white tips on the fins, sort of like sarcomity sort of looking things. Now there's one left. A brace of goldfish, not something you catch every day, unless it's from a garden pond. Alright, I'll put them down there. One more to catch. Can I catch it on rod and line? Now there is a reason as to why goldfish and carp and ornamentals get stranded during the floods in places like fields and areas like this with tree stumps. Believe it or not, over the last 2 or 3 weeks I've found 2 other instances of fish being where they weren't supposed to be. One of them was what looked like a really big ghost carp that was in a farmer's field next to my local river. The problem is that field's too flooded at the minute to bother to go and try and attempt to rescue this fish. Water's about chest deep, it's almost like a pond now. And another instance was while I was lure fishing just 2 or 3 days ago on my local river. What looked like potentially a koi or a ghostie, went for my jig, missed it and spooked off. And then now we've come here and found goldfish stranded in the woods. And the reason I believe as to why carp and goldfish get stranded more than other fish when it floods is because a couple of reasons. I think one of them is because they are an invasive species. I don't mean to upset any of you guys out there, but carp, anything in the carp family, they're invasive. And I think when the water comes up and their bodies of water flood, I think they instinctively want to go and to search out for new waters and for new bodies of water to inhabit. And another reason is because they can't physically fight the heavy flow when a river is flooded. Barbel and chub are used to it, the sort of river species, whereas carp can't do it, especially not goldfish. So when the water starts to recede, these fish stay on the areas where the water isn't moving as much, like fields, like tree stumps, and that's where they get stranded. And if they're lucky enough, sometimes someone will come along and find them, like we've done today. I'm sure there were probably more than that, but I'd imagine they've probably been caught by cormorants, mink, whatever else lurks in these woods. That one especially, I think, is probably a personal best, caught on rod and line anyway. Look at these, like peas in a pod, aren't they? Wait. Oh. I've rescued one fish. One flopped out of my hands and landed right in front of the camera, which is water. So we've rescued one fish today, yay! Right, before I drop this one back in, we'll see if we can find any more in this flooded area. If we can't, we'll try and find something to take this home in. I can't put it in the river because it's an invasive species. And I can't put it in a pond or the canal because it's an invasive species. So it's kind of got to go home. It's got to go to a garden pond. I just need to find something to put it in. Right, let's have a look and see if we can find 1 or 2 more fish, all right? Guys, obviously I dropped one back in, didn't I? Well, the third one that we was trying to catch has just turned up. So hopefully without losing the one we've got in the net, I'm gonna jump in now and try and catch that one to make up for the one that I just dropped back in. Right, let's try and get it. Gotta be stealthy, quiet. Shh. Oh, I can see it. Yeah, it's there. Just got to try not to lose the one that I've got. I missed it. Oh! We got it! It worked! Yes! Redemption! Oh. I lost one by dropping it back into the water over there, and then fish number 3 that I've been trying to catch popped up, decided I'd give it a jab up its ass with a stick, spooked it out from under the tree. How now we have got 2 in the net, so we're still missing one, but at least I've made up for the one that I lost. Now the real dilemma begins, because I need to figure out how to get these fish home. I have got a small pond at home, probably not quite big enough for a few extra goldfish, but they'll be fine in there for now. Thankfully, because this woodland floods so much, it's full of junk everywhere. So I'm sure I can find something, maybe a bag or a tub or a bin, fridge behind you. Right. Thought I was onto a jackpot there. It looked like a bucket. It's actually a plant pot, I think. A broken plant pot, but there's lots of big tubs, but not many that I would trust. And then I've just seen what looks like a builder's bucket or something. Please don't let it have a hole in it. Please don't let it. It's got water in it. It's literally got water in it. Are you kidding me? What are the chances of that? Yay! Yes! That one's quite skinny. Not had a decent meal in a while. Got a bit of a wound there as well. Maybe a bird's had hold of it. Guys, what a weird session this turned out to be today. I came with the intention of using small lures like soft plastics, maybe little crankbaits, to try and catch some of the big fish from the river like the chub, maybe jack pike, perch, and it started off sort of quite well. I ended up catching a chub after having to jump in the river and make some extra casts up into an arm that comes off the river, and we landed a beautiful chub. And then it was time to explore and visit new areas of the river, and that led me to the area where it actually flows through the woodland when it floods. And as you could see just then, we ended up finding some goldfish that were stranded in the pools where the tree stumps have been upturned, and it's held the water. And then the goldfish get stranded and they've got nowhere to go. Now I'm sure there was probably more fish, maybe even there right now. There was probably more fish stranded before today, but I'm assuming that predators may have got to them. I mean, the goldfish, the bright orange, they don't last very long. So I imagine these fish have probably been there for the last couple of weeks. We did have some flooding just a couple of weeks ago, so I was very, very lucky to find these. I did drop one back in, which I'm a bit gutted about. A mink or heron or something might end up getting that one, because I have no intentions of coming back here anytime soon. But never mind, we managed to save 2. Got them in my orange builder's bucket. Sorry goldfish, probably just shocked them to death. I'm going to go home now. Thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed. Subscribe if you want to, like the video if you liked it, and I'll catch you guys later. Cheers!